VRR has been a big discussion point as of late, especially when it comes to the Xbox Series X and the PS5 implementations of this feature. Yet even with proven evidence that the Xbox is a far better implementation of this feature, Sony PlayStation fans continue to attack anyone that says otherwise. So let's get into how Xbox has an advantage, but also look into the testing that's happened around this VRR feature on both consoles. There's a lot to cover here, so let's get right into this Xbox versus PlayStation comparison. Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to be notified on future content, hit that small little bell icon. And if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. Okay, so in case you don't know what VRR is, it stands for Variable Refresh Rate. It's been something that's been on the Xbox Series X and S consoles for quite some time. It's completely changed the way games have looked all the way to how they perform. A clear example of this is Elden Ring on the Xbox Series X. Trust me, I've played over 160 hours of that game on the Series X, and if you turn on some of the features that the console has, it makes the game's performance that much better, and it makes the game feel and play better. So all in all, having better software features on your console is a smart idea that developers and console manufacturers should look into, which is why PlayStation 5 has finally implemented this VRR feature to their consoles. Yet it still doesn't stand up to what the Xbox Series X console has on hand. Here's what the article has to say and what the feature and lack thereof has on the PlayStation 5. I tested VRR on the PS5 and it's great, but Xbox Series X does it better. It's been a long time coming, but PlayStation 5 VRR, or Variable Refresh Rate, support is finally here. If you have a compatible HDMI 2.1 display, you now can enjoy a smoother experience in support of PS5 games and wave goodbye to distracting screen tearing in the process. Though you may need to reboot your PS5 if you can't see VRR in the video settings, as there's no system update required. During my testing, where I sampled a wide variety of PS5 games using an LG OLED CX, I came away mostly impressed. Sony's implementation of VRR has a couple of quirks that you need to be aware of. However, as it stands, I don't think it's quite as good as Microsoft's answer to VRR on the Xbox Series X and S. Okay, so the first thing we have to mention is that you need a compatible TV to use this feature, which requires an HDMI 2.1 DisplayPort. Once you have that, you can easily see the difference with this new feature on. Once this happens, you can instantly see some of the advantages this feature could bring to your gaming experience overall. I mean, the article gives amazing examples like Spider-Man Remastered getting some improvements, and also Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart getting uncapped frame rates on both fidelity and performance modes on the PlayStation 5, which means the cap of 30 FPS and 60 FPS have been completely removed. This all sounds awesome and shows that Sony might have brought out a pretty amazing feature that's been on the Xbox Series X for a very long time. Yet we have to remember, this is a new implementation on the PlayStation 5, and it's going to have some restrictions because you know what? Software takes a little while for them to get used to it and get the full features out of it, which is something that this article brings up right here. Sadly, unlike on Xbox consoles, PlayStation 5's VRR support also doesn't apply to PlayStation 4 games. So you won't see performance benefit when playing backward compatible titles, even those that got 60 FPS patch for PS5 like God of War. Perhaps the biggest issue with VRR though is the fact that Sony chose to use the HDMI 2.1 VRR standard and not AMD FreeSync. For most modern TVs, this won't be a problem, but there are countless displays and monitors in particular that can't benefit from this version of VRR, including those that only have an HDMI 2.0 port. This isn't the case on the Xbox Series X and S, which both support FreeSync for VRR and therefore work on a wide range of compatible displays as a result. Check out the list of compatible displays that work on VRR for PlayStation 5. Okay, so now you have to do research on if your display actually could use VRR for the Sony system, which I think is kind of weird. But first, let's start from the top because this article kind of spells it out for everyone. We all know that Sony's implementation of VRR is great and it has its benefits, which is great for us gamers, but it's not close to being as smooth and compatible friendly as the Xbox Series X has on their VRR. I mean, one of the biggest problems I see with this is that the PlayStation 5 VR doesn't support PS4 games. So big games like God of War can't use this feature feature to give you an even better experience, even though the game got a 60 FPS patch for the PlayStation 5. Then you throw in VRR not having AMD FreeSync, which if you remember, AMD are the ones making these chips for these consoles, and you start to scratch your head on why they would make such a weird decision to not implement that into their feature set, because AMD is the one making these chips. This will restrict a lot of displays that people use across the gaming industry, unlike Xbox where they support both FreeSync for VRR and also HDMI 2.1 VRR standard, which helps with a wide range of displays as a result. It's something I have a feeling that Sony can fix in the long run, but right now, as it stands, it's a weird decision to not support one of the main features your chipset has inside the console, especially a feature the manufacturer of the console could provide, which is AMD. And that's not the only restrictions we've seen from Sony and this implementation. Here's what else is said in the article. The VRR range on PS5 is also capped at 48 Hz to 120 Hz, which isn't as good as what's available on the LG OLED CX, which has a superior VRR range of 20 to 120 Hz. This means that if a PS5 game drops lower than 48 FPS when playing at 60 Hz game, it may exhibit judder as it falls out of the VRR range. If Sony enables FreeSync, however, this issue would be resolved as there would be a wider range and would also make PS5's VRR support compatible on far more displays. It seems like a no-brainer considering the PS5's GPU is made by AMD and uses the open standard. And this is something that stands out the most when you look at this implementation of VRR for the PlayStation 5. Having a cap range at 48 Hz to 120 Hz is something that needs to change in order for this to be a very good implementation. VRR range is great at 20 to 120 Hz, which the article points out right there. That's something that Xbox is able to do because it does support the FreeSync mode on their console. This will drastically help you get far better performance on your games no matter when the frame rates drop. An example of this is Elden Ring again, which fluctuates from 40 to 50 frames on both consoles and sometimes goes a little higher. So if you're on the PS5 and it drops below 48 Hz, this will cause massive judders and stutters across your screen and sometimes even tears. Yet on the Xbox, since they have FreeSync enabled, it will have to go below 20 Hz in order for it to do the same thing and get all those judders. The performance difference is obvious to see when you look at it from paper standpoint and from a performance standpoint right in front of your eyes as you're testing these games. So let's hope that Sony implements FreeSync as they continue to patch and understand VRR better, because it could bring way better performance on their console on multiple games and also multiple displays. Yeah, let's get right back into what else is being reported about this implementation and how it can be drastically improved. Another issue to look out for is that the PS5 drops your display chroma resolution to 422 when playing games at 4K 120 Hz. As highlighted by Vincent Tao from HD TV Tests, you need to make sure your TV's video range is set to limited or audio and not high, otherwise this will result in a black level mismatch. And here we go again, having to change a bunch of settings on your TV, not to mention your console, to get this to work properly. So the whole implementation in the PS5, it's great. No one's denying that. It's great to see Sony support their console and actually bring out a worthwhile update, something that a lot of gamers have been asking for a very long time. Yet to me, it seems like they have a lot to work out when it comes to VRR. The Xbox Series X implementation is obviously more feature-rich and supports more games. I'm talking displays, features, and of course using the actual hardware that AMD provides the machines, not to mention the features they provide. And don't get me wrong, I understand that Sony brought something out and they need to fix it over time and maybe patch it a little later, but I also know that they take forever to bring any type of change to their console. VRR came out a year and a half after the console came out, something that a lot of gamers were asking for and a lot of developers were using on their competitors. Yet once it's implemented, only about 17 games use it, and most of those games are first-party developers and some of the bigger games. Then you see that it doesn't have as many features as the competitor on Xbox. To me, that shows they have a lot of work that needs to be done on this. Let's not let Sony relax and feel like they brought something out that's great in a finished product. No, let's ask for better, demand better, and hope they implement something even better later down the line. Apply FreeSync to this, support more displays, and don't just hide behind certain features, because that's what gamers want the most. They want better features for their games. Great games with great features that has them running flawlessly. Oh, and let's please get some PS4 games that have patches to support VRR. I don't understand how this isn't a thing. I mean, come on, you already suck at game preservation and basically charge for backup to play PlayStation 3 games games that people already own. Let's get something that shows you respect the gamers that actually bought games on your system and supported your ecosystem. I won't even go into not having 1440p support on the PlayStation 5. Let's hope that happens later down the line. So I know a lot of people will attack me for this and get angry for making the video, but I truly don't care because I own a PlayStation 5 and I want to see them bring me, as a fan, a better feature set and a better experience for my games on that platform. Let's hope they start doing that because Xbox is doing it and they're bringing a lot of updates to Xbox, making things far more improved from performance-wise, and you can see that by how many games support VRR and how many games support VRR on the PlayStation side. But enough of what I think about all of this. Tell me what you think. Are you surprised with the limitations of the PS5's VRR? How long will it take for them to fix this feature? Why does Xbox have far more features comparatively to the PS5? Are you happy with the implementation already on the PlayStation 5? Will more games get VRR support on this system? Why are there so many differences between Xbox and the PS5? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button to support us at the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalk37. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalk37, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I've been jumping into Assassin's Creed Valhalla a bunch. That game is massive. I think I hit like 150 level. I'm not too sure. I know there's power levels, so you get a bunch of skills. You go out there, you kind of go around assassinating things, exploring. That's what Assassin's Creed is, but it's such a massive world. The story I actually think is pretty fun. You're kind of putting in these different types of kings for different areas and kind of setting up your own government so you can make things better for Vikings and Danes across the land. So I'm having fun with that. Not to mention, there's a lot of mythical things tied to it. You can go to Odin. You can do a bunch of cool things that require magic. I'm having a lot of fun with it. You're seeing a lot of cool implementations into the game. So I'm getting ready to go into Dawn of the Ragnarok, beat this game, and have a good time. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something on your PlayStation 5, your Xbox Series X, or are you on your PC like I am with Apex Legends, getting up in ranked and having a great time doing that? Let me know down below because that's what we're here for. It's to talk games, and I truly want to know what everyone's playing because right now it kind of seems like a slow period and we're not getting that many games because E3 is just around the corner. So let me know what you're playing. Maybe you give me an idea to jump into something. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.